Welcome to Heal Through Sexy, where we discuss all things healing, self-love, and relationships. My name is Cynthia. I am a licensed therapist. Today, I want to talk about when to tell a man that you're abstaining for sex. You've probably watched a lot of videos about this, or maybe just a few, but I just wanted to add my little 2 cents. So here it is. Never. Never. I want you to think of your body and your life the same way the government thinks about the information in the government. You have to have a top secret security clearance in order to get access to certain things. I don't think you need to have a conversation right off to let a man know that you're abstaining. Now, I'm going to say this. As Christians, right, the Bible says that we are supposed to abstain from sex until we get married. Now, I think what is understood, what does it say? What is understood doesn't need to be spoken. So if you're a Christian and he's a Christian, why do I need to tell him that I'm abstaining? I'm abstaining, and it should be understood that he's abstaining. Now, I know in our modern dating culture, because I did that video, Help, I'm Saving, Still Having Sex, 57% of the Christians that were in the Pew Research study said that they feel like it's okay to have sex with a partner that you're in love with. Okay. And so if you are abstaining and you feel like you need to have a conversation, I believe that that conversation doesn't have to be the first conversation. What I see often is that many people crave intimacy. Okay. And I'm not talking about, I've heard people like intimacy into me. I see. No, that's not what intimacy is. Self-intimacy is the ability to self-soothe. Okay. It means that you have the ability to be alone without feeling lonely. Okay. That's what intimacy is as it relates to self. And so many people move super fast in relationships because they want intimacy. They want someone essentially to comfort them. Okay. And we really, as women, we really need to know and understand that the pace of the relationship as it relates to sex, you are the doorkeeper to sex. Okay. And so I don't know. I know some women have felt pressure to have sex as the relationship is developing. Some women have felt or been taught that in order to keep a man, you have to have sex with him. But if you really want to have a healthy relationship, you have to let go of those fears and you have to be protective of yourself. Something that I want to do is I also want to redefine abstinence. Because many people only think of it as it relates to your body, but you really need to be covering your mind and your heart. Okay? The Bible says that the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. It also talks about guard your heart, right? Because the last thing you give to a man is your body. By the time he gets your body, he already has your mind and he already has your heart. So when you're abstaining, you also need to be protective of your mind and your heart. You may say, well, Cynthia, how am I going to do that? Right? I'm getting to know him. How am I going to do that? You need to, in your dating experience, I want you to, because what I see often is that women are trying to relate to men the same way you will relate to a girlfriend, and it's very different. You need to understand how men think. You need to understand how men move. When you're forming a relationship with a man, it's very different than when you're forming a relationship with your girlfriend. Like when you meet a woman and you can just tell her anything and she'll be sympathetic and she'll be empathetic and she'll give you good feedback and all of those things. It's not the same when you're getting to know a man. And that's why I always recommend that you start, as it relates to the man, you don't start dating him from a place of romance. You start dating him from a place of friendship. Okay. But it's different because he's a man. You need to determine logically if this is a man that you even like. Okay. Do you like him as a person? Not, does he fit this list that I've created, that he's 6 foot tall and this and that? No. Do I like him as at the core as a human being? Okay. And then you introduce romance. But this idea of I need to share with him what I'm doing with my body, that's none of his business. You don't need to tell him that you're abstaining. You need to get to know him, because if we move logically, we'll realize, I really don't even like him. He got some quirks that get on my nerves, or he's inconsistent. But if you move quick, right? And you're focused on romance, what will happen, especially in your mind, soul ties, you know, people talk about soul ties. Your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. So you can create a soul tie with somebody without even sleeping with them. So you ain't even let the man taste your peach cobbler, as Tony Caskett say. You ain't even let him taste your peach cobbler, but you've already tied your soul because you spending too much time in your mind focusing on him. You have to pace the relationship, okay? You guys don't need to text from AM to PM. You still have to have your life. You still have to have your passions. You still have to have your hobbies while you're building the relationship, okay? What you can't do is and a lot of women do this. You can't give your all to the relationship or the dating when you first meet him. You still need to be busy. Matter of fact, you may need to get busier if you know that, listen, Cynthia, I'm a lover girl. I got poor boundaries. You need to get busier. You need to find something to do to occupy your time. So every time he texts you, you're not so quick to text him back. There are some men who know how to take up space in your head so they can get to your heart and so then they can get to your body, okay? And so you need to be able to occupy your time. You need to pace the relationship and pace getting to know him. And if he brings up sex early on in the first couple of conversations, you have to make a decision. Is this someone I want to move forward with, or is he moving too fast for me? And if he's moving too fast for you, you let him know, hey, you're moving a little bit faster than I intended to. I would like to get to know you better. I'm not one to talk about sex in the first couple of conversations, especially if it's with a person in which I don't have deep feelings for. I don't know you. You're a stranger. I don't talk about intimate things with a stranger. Do you think the government out here, well, I'm about to say giving our top secrets to people I was about to say that. I'm about to say that, but I'm not going to say that. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean, okay? Anything that is intimate, and I'm going to do another video because a young lady asked me about when do I share my past. So I'm going to do a video about that. Anything that is intimate, feel free to guard it. You don't have to have, if he's being coercive and he's pushing it, then that's a red flag and you need to run. Okay, but don't feel like you have to make declarations about your abstinent. You don't. That's your personal and private business. When you guys are engaged, then you can have more or moving towards being engaged. Then you can have more conversations about sex. But get to know him, okay, before you are having conversations about intimate matters and topics, because it ain't none of his business that you abstaining. And there are some men that are very immature, right? So especially if you're a single mom and you're like, I'm abstaining, there's some men that feel like they deserve to have your body because you at one point shared your body with someone else. So this is not a conversation that needs to be had up front. You as a woman need to make the decision, is this a man that I like? If you like him, because if you like him first, then you move to the next phase of, is this a man that I can see as a romantic partner? Okay? But if you don't even like him for who he is, then we don't even need to be focusing on having any conversations about sex. Okay? Because sex is highly intimate. I know some people, they don't see it that way, but it is. The sharing of your body, giving it with another person. So my answer of when or do I is no. You need to be, baby, just like I said, if in the government, you need a top secret clearance to be able to access certain level of information. You need to govern yourself accordingly, okay? You think men are out here telling you all of their secrets and the things that they do and don't do and will do and won't do? So why do you feel like you need to be so transparent? You don't need to be transparent when you're first getting to know someone, okay? All right, so this is Heal the New Sexy. My name is Cynthia. I want you to know I love you so much, and we'll talk again. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.